So over in China, there was this beautiful fish called an oarfish. And the folklore around it is when this beautiful fish that lives like hundreds of meters like down within the ocean comes up, um, it is pending an earthquake. So it was kind of cool to, I seen it on the news, and I heard the folklore around it. And then, like, within a week, there was an earthquake in China. And it was I think it was about a 6.6, or maybe a little bit higher, but not as, much as Chile and stuff like that. So it was really cool to actually see, like, a legend kind of, come alive over, a matter of a couple weeks. So, and just a really interesting fish, and I can so see how people could, be out in the ocean like fishermen and stuff and think that this is like a sea creature because it's just so big, and you don't get to see them very often. So kind of another thing that I thought was interesting, we're going to go over to our neighbors. There has been, over the past few weeks, a lot of UFO sightings around Lake Erie, Ohio. Apparently, this one group seems to be coming back around, like, I think they said between 7 and 8 at night, and they'll stay, like, these lights will stay for up to an hour. And it's not just, like one crazy person, in the backyard going, oh, I seen a UFO. It's like hundreds of people are, seeing these lights, and these lights are making maneuvers that normal, like airliners and airplanes and fighter jets and stuff like that, things that we're used to seeing, not being able to make those specific movements in the sky. So I thought that was like really, really, really cool. Also, they were in Phoenix, the lights, but of course somebody came forward and said that they let off, some helium balloons with some flares and all this shit. Which, it's not like 1970 anymore. I think people know the difference between a helium balloon with a flare attached to it and, strategic lights making strategic patterns and, making different movements. And the funny thing I found was, like, here in Canada, we don't hear it that much. Like, there was a few things, like, off of, like, New Brunswick or somewhere like that. But usually we don't really hear that much. But over in the UK, it's just so cool. It's like every single other day in their certain crop circle season, when I guess it's almost like writing on a brand new page page of paper, because when they write in the crops and it gets cut down and the crops grow again, they can make another imprint. So it's just so cool. So they had last year in the UK, I think they had like 52 or 53, huge, what they would consider that has the characteristics of a crop circle. Like, it has to have a certain, a certain soil content. There's, like magnetism that goes on. The nodes. I think it's nodes or nods. I think it's nodes. Anyways, the little pieces that are within the stalks of the corn. It's like they get cooked, almost like they've been put into a microwave, and they like break, like they expand and they break, and then that's when the corn folds over, and that's how they get this like pattern. So there's certain characteristics before you can actually say it's a crop circle. There has to be certain testing and certain things like that. That way they know it's not just somebody out there with a plank, pushing down the hay. And last but not least, there was this really cool story of this soldier who, unfortunately, when he was in Afghanistan, a roadside bomb or something went off, and he is now blind. But they're using technology with these glasses. Well, he's got these glasses, and it's got like this thing that's attached that goes in his mouth like a mouthpiece. And what it does is it sends vibrations from the mouth guard piece that goes in his mouth through the tube, and it sends signals up into his brain that produce images. So right now the images are kind of foggy, but he can at least see that there's an obstacle or obstruction within his view. So later on, what they're going to do is they're going to fine tune this, so the pixels will be even like more intense. So it could actually, make way for people who are blind to possibly be able to see again. So don't get me wrong, like I think like technologies like this are like absolutely amazing for somebody who, is blind to be able to see again. That's amazing. Or, somebody who doesn't have, they were in a car accident and they couldn't use their legs anymore, and being able to use their legs. So they have this monkey, I was watching this show, and they have this monkey and they have him hardwired up to a prosthetic limb. And the signals in his brain, retrieve the signals from the prosthetic limb, and vice versa, it goes back and forth. And this monkey can actually move his prosthetic limb from the brainwaves. And I think things like this I'm kind of torn, because I think technology like this can be super duper duper amazing. But then where do you draw the line between somebody's body who is naturally, deteriorating because of old age and just life? That's life. People die. We deteriorate just like everything else. Everything has to die. But it kind of freaks me out because, you look at the scientific movies, the sci-fi movies, and you see cyborgs. And really, if you think about it, we're not too far off from that. Every day we're developing these technologies that are, advancing us. And it's going so fast. And it really makes me think about where we draw the line. Later on, when your body is deteriorating and your mind is still good, how many people are going to be walking around a complete robot just with a human brain? So tell me what you guys think about that. Like, do you think we should just, let things be as, like, I guess the creator, or whoever you want to call God, or you could be atheist, I don't know. Do you think you should just let things be? Or do you think we should definitely use these technologies and really use them to our advantage? But at the same time, do you think there should be stipulations on them? Like, do you think, hey, I'm not running fast enough, so I'm going to go get, prosthetic legs and be able to run, the Terminator, or something crazy like that? So do you think there's a fine line where we should, use the technologies and definitely benefit, people who are blind, or say people who can't hear, or people who've lost their, their legs in accidents, or their arms to cancer, things like that? Do you think there should be certain stipulations that you have to meet before you can actually receive these certain types of technologies that are going to be put in place to hopefully help people live more, so many people who are disabled live normal, beautiful lives that can probably accomplish more than I could ever with two legs. I had a friend who lost his leg when he was really little, to cancer. And watching this guy go is he can go faster than me. His arm muscles are just amazing. He can jump over a gate with one leg. He just whoop over the gate. So do you think technologies like this are going to help us, or do you think they're going to maybe, set us back a little bit? So that was kind of my little, blog for the week, or whenever I think something comes up that's cool, I'll definitely post. So let me know what you guys think. I'm very interested in, the UFO phenomena, anything. So please, please, please write me, because everybody's watching, but nobody's writing anything, and I have no feedback to, I really want to know what you guys want to talk about and what you guys want to, touch on. So definitely, even if it's something you don't agree with, just, write, tell me how come, what's your point of view, and then we can get some really good topics going on here, okay, guys? So please rate, please subscribe, and definitely, if you don't want to subscribe or anything, just leave a comment, and let me know what you think, or, am I crazy? Anyways, guys, learn to coexist, and be peaceful.